Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So happy Monday. We are starting out the month, a new month, I should say. And of course, there are a lot of things to talk about. There are a lot of things to look forward to this week. So let's talk about them. And let's talk about how Bitcoin leaps to millions. That's right. Even though we're stuck right around 104, 105,000, there are many that are predicting Bitcoin will go to the millions, and it will be sooner than you think. So let's talk about this topic as well this morning. All right, let's do it, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are starting out this morning around $104,000, which is a little bit lower than yesterday, but basically the same as this weekend. Bitcoin overall has been going sideways. Yes, that's right. Since all the way back here, since the beginning of May. It hasn't been a full month yet, but we're basically going sideways, as you can see. We broke into a new high a couple weeks ago, and we're waiting for us to get back up there and make a new high. Now, there are a lot of things that are going to help the situation, so let's talk about them. First of all, the U.S. market right now is not looking that great, although it's not that bad. It's a mixed day. NASDAQ is starting out green. Dow's starting out pretty red. Let's see how today goes. But some of these things that I've mentioned that are not so good, but that will help Bitcoin on a bigger scale, I should say. One of them is rates. Yeah, the U.S. Treasury, the yield keeps on ticking higher. That's not a good thing. It's not a good thing at all for the nation, but it's actually a really good thing for Bitcoin and other investments, because basically why this is ticking higher is because of, lack of trust, first of all, in treasury bonds, and also because people are just realizing they don't want to hold dollars. They don't want to hold dollars. There's a lack of trust of whether or not the U.S. can pay these back. And all the geopolitical stuff that's out there that's causing people to fear. People are thinking, okay, maybe I need to hold something better like Bitcoin instead. So that's another reason why it's going up. So this is one of those things that's quite interesting. The Treasury yield continues to go higher and higher. And then we also had some back and forth recently between U.S. and China about whether, the Geneva trade deal was violated or not, and all this stuff that's still happening. It is driving more people to Bitcoin and will continue to do so. Okay, this is not going to stop anytime soon, and a lot of people think this is only going to escalate and get worse, a lot worse. Lynn Alden is one of those people. She did mention during the Bitcoin conference last week that nothing is going to stop this train because of how bad conditions are in the U.S. We have 100% basically debt ratio compared to our GDP, and that is not a good thing. And our irresponsible spending will continue, and more money will be printed and more borrowing, and it's just a vicious cycle that'll never stop. And that's why more and more people are going to turn to Bitcoin. It's really that simple. Now, there's also something else. There's a big rumor that may be happening today. I don't think it's going to happen, but if it happens, the markets may explode. I don't know, in a good way or a bad way. I'm thinking it's going to be a good way. So if you look at like this week in terms of all the speakers and everything, Powell is going to be speaking today. It's a weird thing. I don't know what he's actually speaking about. It doesn't really say, but Jerome Powell is going to be speaking today at 1 o'clock. It's not a usual thing, okay? It's not like a recap or he's at some other place or somewhere. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's not a whole lot of information. I don't know what he's going to be speaking about. But there is one rumor that's spreading around that he may actually resign today. It is 100% rumor right now. No one knows if this is true. But we know that Trump has been putting a lot of pressure on him to cut the Fed fund rate, and he hasn't been doing so. And Trump has threatened to fire him a couple times, and he backtracked on that. But obviously, Jerome Powell knows that he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. He's being asked to cut the Fed fund rate, even though the conditions doesn't warrant it. He's one of the most hated men on earth. So is that rumor true? If he's going to retire or not retire or resign today, what is that going to do to markets? Will markets crash or will they rally? Because they may rally because if they see him as, a hindrance to more rate cuts, then markets may soar afterwards. I don't know. I think the chance of this is low, but there are rumors about this that maybe he's resigning. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. We'll have to wait 3 or 4 hours. But outside of this, right, of course, we always have more adoption. We have a lot of good things happening all the time. South Korea, one of the biggest nations out there in terms of crypto adoption, both of their presidential candidates last year, man, South Korea's presidency and all the craziness. I don't know if it's last year or this year. One of their presidents threw the nation martial law, and then he got kicked out, and then whoever replaced him got kicked out. Oh man, that's a mess. I don't know. I think that's last year, or maybe this year. But anyways, they are very supportive of crypto, and both presidential candidates seems like they want to legalize crypto ETFs and ease regulations. So that is a very good thing. Very good thing. Also, what's good is anyone that has done what Saylor has done, which is just come up with a Bitcoin reserve and adopted a Bitcoin strategy, has been outperforming. As bleak it may seem sometimes, even though it's never really that bleak, of course. When in doubt, zoom out, and you'll realize how great things have been. Even with strategy. You may think, well, strategy is kind of stuck. Strategy is kind of going nowhere, right? But you look at this year-to-date performance, it's destroying the likes of Apple, Microsoft, Google, Nvidia, Tesla. Not even close. And then you look at a 3-month performance, it's destroying them as well. Strategy has been the strategy, okay? And that is why Saylor has some big predictions going. And I mean, honestly, you can't argue with the performance, right? And many others are following. It's just really that simple because it works. Not only does it work for their stock, but if you also believe in the fact that our macro conditions are going to get worse, you can't trust banks or nations to solve their problems, you bet on Bitcoin. And Robert Kiyosaki has been saying this for a long, long time. Now, he has made a lot of predictions, a lot of doom and gloom predictions over the years. But he does believe finally that this year will be correct and there will be a super huge summer market crash. Not that it's good, but he does say that right now, the 3 things, gold, silver, and Bitcoin. Now in this post, he believes silver is undervalued because it's not near its all-time high, but Bitcoin and gold are. But he has been on the Bitcoin train for quite some time now and has told everyone to go stack sats. Because Bitcoin, unlike gold and silver, you can't just mine more. You can't just dig more out of the ground. It's set by code, and that's never going to change. Right? And, of course, going back to Saylor, he says if people knows what he knows, Bitcoin will go to 10 million tomorrow. That's how bullish he is. I think I know. I think most of you guys watching know, right? But the thing is, most people on the planet do not. I have a video clip that actually talks about this. It is quite interesting. I mean, we are still so early. Vast majority of the people out there do not know about Bitcoin. And those that even do hold very little of it. It is like the greatest, it's one of those generational wealth assets. It's like knowing if Manhattan's going to be like it is now 100 years ago, or Tokyo, or, you know, anywhere else on the planet. Knowing where it's going to be today, 100 years ago, would you have not gone all in, or Shanghai, or anywhere, right? London, any big cities. Had you known where it was going to be 100 years from now, what it was going to be like and what prices will be like, would you have not gone in all the way? That's kind of like Bitcoin. We all know where it's going to be 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 years from now. It's going to be so scarce, yet people still do not go all in or even a little bit. You know, that's the thing. Well, that's good for us, though, for us long-term holders. We get the opportunity to continue to accumulate, right, while prices are still cheap, because soon in the future they won't be cheap. Right now, Saylor continues to DCA, and that's what we need to do. So he purchased another 705 Bitcoin, 75 million. This is actually a small purchase versus his last few purchases, but nevertheless, this is DCA, right? DCA for him. Now he has 580,955 Bitcoin. Yeah. If Bitcoin goes to 10 million, you times that by 100x, right? That means this pile is going to be worth, basically, he purchased $4 trillion of the Bitcoin for 40 billion. That's what it means. 100x. Imagine having $4 trillion worth of Bitcoin. That doesn't even exist now because the market cap of Bitcoin is not even close to that. And you know what? Metaplanet is also doing the same thing. They purchased 1,088 Bitcoin. They purchased even more than Saylor this time. That shows you how aggressive Metaplanet has become. They had a big presence at the Bitcoin conference as well. That's a big buy. They have 8,888 Bitcoin now. And they will continue to load up and load up and load up and load up. These are all great things, obviously, for Bitcoin. As more and more companies adopt the Bitcoin strategy, less and less is out there. Less and less is floating out there. And again, this shows you. Gives you a glimpse into what the future will be like when there isn't enough Bitcoin to go around. I mean, there's so much adoption right now. Here's another example. Russia's biggest bank is going to be launching Bitcoin structured bonds. So it's just a matter of time that ETFs, bonds, ETFs, going to be listed everywhere. Another reason why Bitcoin is going to go into the millions. Saylor thinks so, but it's not just him. You know, as we're trending upwards, there are a lot of great signs. Like right now, well, actually yesterday, or the day before yesterday, Bitcoin had its highest monthly close. That's usually a really good thing, a precursor to something greater. We know that Bitcoin is tracking the global M2 money supply, and it's tracking it like almost perfectly. A little delay, but we always tend to move when there's a lot of money out there, and there is a lot of money because nations are printing and printing and printing, and that usually equates to Bitcoin going higher, right? But like I said, Saylor isn't the only one that thinks Bitcoin go to a million. We got Tom Lee on CNBC making some predictions. He said something that makes a whole lot of sense on CNBC. Just making some predictions. He said something that the echo here. Just listen to this, and you know, it just makes a whole lot of sense.
What's Bitcoin? What is it moving with? Just risk assets at this point? It got back to an all-time high, which you were forecasting as well. But now I think, what are we, 104 this morning? So it's pulled back.
Yeah, I think it's consolidating. It makes sense. You know, Bitcoin is responding to global liquidity, which is moving up, and I think anticipating a dovish Fed next year. So that's a tailwind for Bitcoin. But, you know, Bitwise has a great stat. You know, 95% of all Bitcoin's been mined, but 95% of the world doesn't own Bitcoin. So I just think that there's still a huge demand versus supply imbalance, meaning there's a lot more potential buyers of Bitcoin over the next 10 years. And so I think there's a lot of upside into year end.
Into your like 150 target.
Yeah, 150, maybe 200, even 250 this year.
What? 150 to 200 to even 250. And what's your, you don't have a terminal price on that, do you?
Well, it's, I think at a minimum it should have the same network value as gold. And if you look at above ground gold, it's probably 23 trillion. So that would be, you know, 1.2 million for Bitcoin. But I think Bitcoin is more valuable than gold. So, you know, gold, I mean, Bitcoin could be 2 million, you know, 3 million long term. I mean, even higher.
Okay. Thank you. And we're talking years, obviously, but 95% mined. I don't think the last one is mined till, what, 2150 or something. Like it's getting harder and harder.
Yeah, I mean, depending on what decimal you want to use, it's probably like, you know, 2040 or something. But yeah, but it's, yeah, if you're having something forever, it'll always.
So what's your terminal value?
That's what we just said.
Yeah, I mean,
the final.
He said 2.5 million.
2.5 million at the end.
Yeah.
Or maybe,
okay,
I mean, maybe higher.
Or maybe even higher.
I didn't appreciate that point.
Yeah, I mean, it could, you know.
But I guess sorry, maybe the way I meant that is, does that happen at the end after it's all?
When it's all mined.
When it's all mined?
But yeah, and there'll be network fees generated.
Or does that happen before it's mined?
It's like as if Berkshire did a buyback and there was only one share left. What would Berkshire's share price be? You know, it'd probably be the market value of Berkshire.
And as you said, if you
So, Tom Lee thinks that Bitcoin could go to $3 million. You know, it just seems like it's far-fetched. Seems like it's far-fetched. But then again, you know, 100K for Bitcoin seemed far-fetched 4 years ago, 10 years ago, right? But if you understand, like what Saylor was saying, if you understand, then these numbers do not seem far-fetched. Of course, it's going to take a while. It's not going to hit 3 million tomorrow or next year. But in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, next 20 years, it's not so far-fetched. If you truly understand what's going on and you pay attention, it definitely can. This could also help. Just the last few things. If Saylor goes on Rogan, that would be huge, right? Of course, Joe Rogan has been pro-crypto, pro-Bitcoin already, but his audience is just massive. If Saylor goes on there, that would be crazy. Or maybe if I go on there. I think I would do well talking to Rogan. I don't know. That's just me. Outside of that, that's pretty much it. You know, I did see some ETH news. I saw this. SharpLink Gaming plans on purchasing $1 billion worth of ETH. That's a big amount. And recently there's been a few companies that came out and said they want to purchase a whole bunch of ETH. So some of you guys are ETH bag holders. You love it. And you know what? Maybe all these purchases and the ETFs can carry it back to its glory days later this year and beyond, which I think it will. I mean, it'll get back to at least its previous high. All right. That is it. Let's see. U.S. market not getting any better. Nvidia's up. You got Tesla. Okay, Tesla's down. Let's see. Coinbase down slightly. MSTR, let's see. MicroStrategy's up today. So Saylor's strategy is definitely working. All right. Let's do some Q&A. Yep, a lot of people are asking if Powell's going to resign. I'm not Powell, okay? So I can't comment if he's going to resign or not. But there are rumors of it happening today, quite possibly at 1 p.m. because there is a scheduled, you know, conference. And I don't even know what it's about. There's nothing really discussing what he's going to be saying. Maybe he is going to be resigning. If he resigns, the markets, I think, will explode today in a good way. I saw a super chat from Nasty Natty. Appreciate it. Dimitri, I sold all my MSTR, bought Bitcoin back. That was dumb of me. Lost 7K. I don't think that's dumb. They go in tandem. Bitcoin will come back to its previous high and move, and then it'll be faster than MSTR, and then you won't regret that decision at all. T-Rev, if ETH hits its all-time high, will confirm altcoin season? Not necessarily, no. ETH doesn't represent the community anymore. There are so many other chains. I don't know. I just think altcoin season is not going to be the same as before. Not like before. It used to be like that because ETH was the dominant chain and everything ran on ETH. That's no longer the case. I don't know if Powell's going to resign, man. He would look very weak if he did, although everyone would cheer. Like for his, what do you call it? For his legacy, it would look really, really, really bad. Really bad. 1 p.m. though. There is some kind of opening remark or some kind of press conference, something at 1 p.m. A surprise cut would also be good. ECB is going to have a cut this Thursday. It's rumored that they will cut. they've been cutting. Everyone else has been cutting except the U.S., right? Maybe there is going to be a surprise cut. That would be huge too. Dimitri, I purposely didn't answer that, and I won't answer a question like that. I'm not your financial advisor. You have to figure it out. You know, most of the dips really just come from like these days. These days it really comes down to whether or not I believe there's too much leverage in this space. And really it's just shakeouts. Shakeouts to liquidate the longs or the shorts. You know, if you remove that from the equation, basically we're just like trending along, slowly moving upwards. So it's really, I mean, over the weekend, 600 million in longs liquidated. So I just feel like a lot of these times Bitcoin dips down a little bit for no apparent reason. It's really just to wipe out the leverage. That's really what it comes down to. Dave says, you got hacked from Coinbase. Someone stole $25,000 Bitcoin, 25,000 worth of Bitcoin. I'm sorry to hear that. I think you mean $25,000 worth of Bitcoin. Yeah, their email support hasn't been good ever, or call support. I don't even know how that happens. Like, what happened? James Wynn got liquidated again? That can't be real. He just lost like 100 million and now he lost even more. See, it's like, what did I say? I didn't even know this, but what did I just say? Markets are basically being moved because the market makers and whales just want to liquidate the longs, liquidate basically the leverage out there. So, so he's about to get liquidated. And then we'll probably bounce. Like, it always happens, right? Those of you guys that play leverage, you'll notice that a price just goes to a point where you get liquidated and then bounces immediately afterwards. So we're like 100 points away from him getting liquidated, unless he put more margin. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. This is probably the reason why we're down right now, because of this. You know, whatever amount that he puts, like 100 Bitcoin size, that's like nothing compared to what the market makers are. You're talking about like Binance, for example, and these other guys that have billions upon billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin or ETH or whatever that they can throw to move markets. Not like, you know, like a small chump like this, I should say small chump change like this, is not going to do it. And people donating USDC to him for him to throw more margin in there is not going to help. Unless he's throwing $1 billion long, $1 billion at a 40x, it's not going to help. But the good thing is MicroStrategy is up today. So whenever MicroStrategy is up, there's a good chance that Bitcoin will be up. According to the Fear and Greed Index today, we're still in greed. We're still in greed mode. 57. We're not in fear, which is good. I would say we're more like neutral. We should be neutral. We got to update this. By the way, this is on my website. Everyone needs to start checking it out. The new CryptosRUs.com website. It has a lot of great things. Market snapshot, market tools, tools overall. Dan Pappas. Love the vlog from... Is it vlog? Vlog, I guess. I don't know. I just call it vlog. Thank you. A lot of people really like that video. My vlog video. I'm going to do more of it. Basically, that's what I stated in my Sunday walk video yesterday. I'm going to start doing a lot more of it. I may just do it like randomly at even non-conferences, just places that I go to. Aaron, my speech at Bitcoin conference is great. I didn't have a speech. If you met my walk around, then I appreciate it. I met a lot of people. There are more clips that I'll be posting. I only posted that one video, but there are a lot more clips. So I'll try to post them later this week. I think Win got liquidated again. Look at it. Look at that wick. Down to 103.68. 691. 640. It's like $50 off. It's $50 off from being liquidated. He might have been, depending on what Hyperliquid says. He may have been liquidated again. I don't know. Let's see if he wrote something. Man, I can't believe Knicks lost. I can't believe we're going to see a Pacers versus OKC finals. This is gonna be the least watched finals in NBA history. G7 Films, next year you should host the event to kick off the conference. No, I'm not gonna do that. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'll co-host something. I don't want to do the event by myself anymore. I've tried that before, and it's just too much work and too much money. So I may co-host things. Like for example, I'm talking with a few projects. I possibly can host like a large party at Token 2049 for those of you guys that may be going. I might be running a contest actually, so maybe some of you guys will get a free paid trip. So I'm working on something like that right now. And Token 2049 this year may be even bigger than Bitcoin Conference. I don't know. But outside that, Bitcoin Conference, I would like to they have those like mini press booths and stuff where people go on and talk. They're not not on stage, but just like their conference interview places. I would probably like to do that in the future. No one wants to watch OKC and Pacers. Not even the analysts. Even the analysts said that. No one cares about OKC or Pacers. Besides the people from those markets. Yeah, I'm working on something right now. I'm talking with a couple of projects. I may be able to put something together. Token's in October, so we got like 4 months left. I may be able to put something together where people win free tickets and even free paid trips to the event, which would be pretty cool. Yeah, MicroStrategy, excuse me, MicroStrategy going up today is a good symbol. Or good precursor, I should say, of what's to come. Robinhood is also green, so. And then maybe we get a surprise cut today, or maybe Powell resigns. Phil, I get it. Okay, I get how, OKC and Pacers both deserve to be there. I'm not taking that away. They have played awesome series. They have done really well. Okay? They both deserve to be there. But they're such boring teams that doesn't have big superstars. Shea, no one likes Shea Alexander. Everyone just calls him a free throw merchant. So he's like the new Harden, basically. No one was cheering when he won MVP. Everyone wanted Jokic to win, right? So it's hard to root for him. And everyone else, like Holmgren, is up and coming talent, but like everyone else is just like good role players. And Pacers, same thing. Halliburton, not a superstar. Siakam, certainly not a superstar. He's just a really good player. It's really hard to get behind these teams. They deserve to be there, but it's just like a cast of really good players, I guess. If it was Knicks, it would the ratings would be much better. Who started this rumor about potential resignations? I have no idea. People start spreading it. All right, guys. I guess we'll call it a day. Let's see what happens later. Powell's go cut the rate or resign or neither. It's probably most likely neither. But we'll see. Overall, right now we're just kind of going sideways. I feel like we're actually going through this because market makers are trying to liquidate James Wynn right now. I think that's what's happening. But outside of that, you know, we actually should be having a good day. Strategy's going up, and the macro conditions should turn more people to Bitcoin. All right, guys, smash it a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right, have a good one.